Hey guys, I thought we'd do a June update on the 100-gallon mixed reef. Been pretty busy working, and Palooza was last weekend. So basically, for the last 2 weeks, I have been feeding the tank and topping off levels, two-part ATO, stuff like that, and nothing else. So when the fish see me approach the tank, they think they're getting fed now. That's the new thing. I'm just taking a look around. I haven't really had a lot of growth this month. I think it's still bouncing back from changing two-part and then changing back to the Fritz two-part, which I love, the liquid two-part. So the tank took a little bounce. I didn't really lose anything due to it, but I think it did stunt the growth of the tank a little bit. So everything has to get back on track, and then we'll be maybe growing some more coral. But I'm in no hurry for the coral to start growing. Well, the bubble coral looks like it's growing. It's like pressed against the glass over there. Here's something that's you'll notice throughout this video. Those purple patches are blue clove polyps. Now, I didn't put them there. I did put a small frag in the back of the tank, but they're showing up everywhere. There's a better look at the bubble coral. It's pressed against the glass. And just another top view here. These green star polyps were giving me a problem. I had to move the green slimer off of this rock because these green star polyps, which again kind of rogued in from a frag plug from, I think, the original nano tank is how they got there. Now this rock next to it has a lot of things encrusting on it. I have about 3 or 4 different types of encrusting coral on there, and I'll show towards the end that they are kind of battling for space in some situations. But overall, I think I need to get in there and do a total rescape. But that's not going to be much fun. Most of these corals are very encrusted already, so even if I break them off and move them, I'm going to leave a little fragment of them behind, and that's going to be an issue with them growing back in on those rocks. I have been cutting and chipping rock to move things, so I bring a little bit of the base rock and what's encrusted with it, but it's a lot of work, and you usually chip a lot of stuff off of the main colony. So I've got a bunch of frags everywhere. This may be my new favorite. This is that brown frag that I bought at Absolute Fish. Just a little brown acro. Look at the tips. That is incredible. Here's that other piece I got from Rico. And I still don't know what it is. Some kind of Monty, but you'll notice a big brown patch on the top. Hollywood Stunner did that. The main colony of Hollywood Stunner. And I've moved that into another tank. So this is all my Favias and war coral, and I put an acan enchinata on there, and you can see that it's stinging one of the war corals. So I'm going to have to move that guy too. My bubblegum setosa, I believe it is. I got a little piece of that from O, and that's really grown. I've got to give him a little piece back. And here's the side view showing the frag rack. Frag rack's mostly filled of things that have broken off of main colonies or are moving from one tank to another. But there's a few pieces on there that I just picked up. Right there, the acro right in the middle. That I got from Rico at Reef Palooza. And the zoas in front of it I got from Ultimate Coral. I actually won that on a raffle from Billy Pipes. Had tickets in his pocket, and it said 1 free $30 coral. There's a little piece of Forest Fire Digi. I think that's going to Reefing with O. And there's a couple of things in here. And there's my strawberry shortcake from Jason Fox. Oh, that was quick, short and sweet. Let's move to the side of the tank. Just see how much real estate I am wasting in the back that could be valuable coral placement. You know, it looks great from the side. There's the Hollywood Stunner. I had to clip like an inch off the bottom of it because the green star polyps was stinging it. So to save it, I just clipped an inch off the bottom. You just see some of the small acro frags I got, and they're growing. Now here in the back is a piece of Pavona, I believe, and the blue next to it you'll see is that's where the frag plug was of the blue star polyps, blue clove polyps. One little frag plug there, and that's the only place I put them in the tank. So these are not like green star polyps where they have to be able to reach the next thing. And my first fish, the guy who's been with me the longest, and no, I did not draw the mustache on him. He grew that himself. He's been through a lot with me. Probably wishes he had a different owner at this point. See, he's a yellow Watchman goby, and he hasn't been yellow in quite some time. But this is the guy who spent 6 weeks in the back of the all-in-one. There's the other Hollywood Stunner that I glued to the overflow box, and it is doing amazing, cool, curly things. So it's like my little bonsai Hollywood Stunner. But it's also destroyed the two Monty caps that are above it. That pink bird's nest came from Reef Spy up at the top. Oh, now you can't see it. I'm sure most of you know who Reef Spy is. If you don't, find out who Reef Spy is. He is definitely one of my favorite channels to watch. A little pink Gonapora there. Always looks good. Really hasn't grown for me though. Nice little piece of war coral or a favia. This Gonapora, I don't know. It doesn't impress me. It does have a couple of purple polyps on it, which is cool, but I don't get it. And here's some more of that green star polyp. Blastos, because you got to have blastos, I guess. But this is a really nice strain of green star polyp. You can see how long and grassy it is compared to some of the other ones, like this strain, which is just tiny little polyps. I mean, they're definitely two different types because they're in the same environment. And you gotta have acans, otherwise you can't hang out with Billy Pipes unless you have acans. And there's that purple sponge, still doing well. These have always been in the back, and moving stuff around, I brought them up front. Just a bunch of mushrooms. There's the blue acan I got from Ultimate Coral when we all got together. That's a Sabella Fella Red Planet. Again, I love this guy. The Forest Fire Digi in the back is looking great. I've grown that from a tiny little piece, similar to the piece on the frag rack. There's a better look at the green slimer. Thing has great color. Even gets polyps most of the time. But I did have to chop a little bit off the bottom. I'm sure he'll grow that back as soon as he gets back to growing. This rainbow stylo that I have is doing great. I only wish it wasn't so close to this green stylo. I gave a piece of this to Reef Spy, and he gave me a piece back, but he said the color on this one is wonderful. So he liked the color. And a couple more acros. Now here's something interesting. This is where the Cephastria is meeting the Rainbow Monty, and if you can see that white line right up the middle, they have met. I don't know who's winning. And I threw a couple of dead coral skeletons in the middle to see if either one of them would like to grow up onto it. So that's interesting to see. So guys, thanks for watching, and hit that thumbs up. See you next week.